Hello, and welcome to Earplay's first Monday concert series. My name is Andrew Conklin, and I serve on Earplay's board of directors. Earplay is delighted to present to you a performance of Phoenix Rising by Stacy Garrop, which received its West Coast premiere in December of 2020 as part of Earplay's year-end gala event. In addition to the marvelous performance by Earplay's violinist, Terrie Baune, you will also hear commentary on the piece from both the composer and the performer. Thank you for tuning in to Earplay's first Monday series, and we hope you enjoy the program.
Hi, my name is Stacy Garrop, and I am the composer of Phoenix Rising. This is a piece that was commissioned by a saxophonist named Christopher Creviston in 2016. Since then, I rewrote it for solo flute, then clarinet, and finally solo violin, which is the version that you're going to hear Terrie play so wonderfully today. When I asked Christopher for some topics about this new piece he was commissioning, he wrote back the word Phoenix. And I'm pretty sure he meant the city, Phoenix, Arizona, because he lives near it. But in my head, I got this image of a bird, of the phoenix itself, that dies when it's old on a bed of embers and then explodes as a young spry bird out of the flames. So that's what this piece is about. In both Greek and Egyptian mythology, you get a picture of a bird that's red and gold, very similar to this, about the size of an eagle, that at the end of its life does settle down on a bed of embers. That's what the first movement is about. I actually call it Dying in Embers. And you're going to hear a lot of effects, such as a mournful sighs coming from the phoenix, the sound of wings flapping, and as well as just taking her last breath. So after that movement comes the second, which is called Reborn in Flames. This is where you hear a lot of energy right away in comparison to the first movement, in contrast to it really. Then this young spry bird just bursts out, and she progressively tries to climb higher and higher in the sky. So in the middle part of this movement, you're going to hear where after she's gotten a little tired of flying so high, she skims down to the water surface. And in my head, I just see her flying along the water and maybe occasionally touching one of her pinions into the surface of the water and just playing with the light and the water. Then she starts climbing again because she's young and she wants to see how high she can go. So you're going to hear the piece just climb ever higher until it just ends with a whole frenzy of activity. Thank you so much, Terrie and Earplay, for recording this and for putting it online. And everybody enjoy Phoenix Rising.
I first got to know Stacy Garrop through my work with the Women's Philharmonic. When I was introduced to her music while I was concertmaster of that orchestra, I was kind of immediately taken by her sense of line, and also I really enjoyed her dramatic sensibilities. So I've liked her music ever since I first worked with it, and was really happy to have an opportunity to learn a solo violin piece of hers. This piece, Phoenix Rising, started off as a piece for solo saxophone, but Stacy has really extensively reworked it for the violin. It's extremely idiomatically written for the instrument. Not to say virtuosic, there are a lot of techniques that really make the most of, I think, the sense of the phoenix rising, the fluttering of wings, the sense of flight, the soaring aspects, that are all things that the violin, I think, is quite suited for in many ways. And it's been a real joy to work on the piece in that sense. I find that the techniques that she uses are really evocative of the phoenix and the concept of the phoenix rising. So the technique is really integrated into the expression, and that's, of course, very enjoyable for a performer. I found myself using a lot of visual imagery when I was learning the piece, which is not something that I often do, actually. I tend to be not a very visual type person. But the sense of the phoenix is so beautifully intertwined with the music that it really evokes images, I think, of images of the bird, images of the concept. It's in two movements. The first movement is the death of the old phoenix, who rises a couple of last times before the bird sinks into the nest for the last time. And then the second movement is the young phoenix rising from the ashes, learning to fly, becoming confident and exuberant and joyful, and the piece has a real arc to it as the young phoenix comes into its element. I found it really helpful, the work that I did with Stacy on the piece. Stacy's a wonderful person. She has a very gracious way of letting you know what the piece really needs. It's always a pleasure to work with a composer who really knows what they've written and knows what they want to hear. It's sometimes a little daunting as well. There's often a point when I'm working with a composer where I feel the need to ask, if it comes down to it in a particular place, should I prioritize clarity or should I prioritize speed? And Stacy was very gracious about her way of saying that actually both things are really essential to the process. But so she's a very helpful person to work with, and I found her insight and her advice to me about the piece really invaluable. It's a beautiful piece, and I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you once again for joining us this evening. We hope you enjoyed the program, and we also hope you'll stay connected with Earplay by visiting us at earplay.org. We will see you in March.